Yo, I'm yours G, and this is my review of the horror slasher Thriller set in Compton. It's the directorial debut of Dallas Jackson starring Jessica Elaine. I hope I'm saying that right. I heard about this movie on Twitter and I thought it was going to be something like, not like Bird Box, but something that came from Twitter that everybody caught on to. So I'm like, not missing that boat. I'm gonna watch that early. It's set in Compton, it's full of black people, right up my alley. So I decided to give it a shot. Right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you, man, this is really bad. It's a really bad movie. A brief synopsis of it. It's set in modern day. It starts off with a kid by the name of Chauncey walking down the street. He gets called into this girl that he likes named Lisa asks him for help, and he liked the girl, so he followed her into an abandoned house to help her find her cat, right? And the Lisa and her friends, it's like 7 or 8 of them, all set up like a little trap to basically just scare the kid, because apparently Lisa and her friends ain't got nothing better to do. So eventually, like all movies, something goes wrong and one of the girls ends up dead. And in any scenario where 7 or 8 people come up with the same story, Chauncey goes to jail. So this movie starts off, the initial part of the movie starts off 4 years later. Chauncey gets out and we have ourselves a slasher film. Let's start off with the pros. The pros: Chauncey is fucking scary. Literally seeing this man for the first time as a full-grown adult, because they're supposed to be high school seniors, he startled me. Like that instance where you see a dude walking on the sidewalk and you're in your car and you automatically lock both the motherfucking doors. You're like, I don't want him to get no ideas. The dude, he hit the corner and I jumped. Also, Lady of Rage is his mother. I think that's dope as hell. Besides the point, fun fact. Some of the kills are dope. Like the way that they're just like in the moment, and it looks like he just comes up with this idea right then and there. He just takes the opportunities as they come. It's part Michael Myers and part Jason. Those are, they might seem like two similar individuals, but the way that they kill, one is more opportunistic and the other one is more ritualistic. One's going to kill you the same way over and over again, and the other one's going to do whatever it takes to get as much blood out of your body as possible. So I thought some of the kills were especially the one working within the limits of the budget. Some of them, like, there isn't much blood to it, and I love blood. I love like all the gore that you can put into it, but that's not the approach that this film took. And actually, one, like, going for blood is where they ended up faltering. So like when they shied away from it, and they used the camera to basically trick your mind into imagining the worst possible scenario, that was effective, and I appreciated that. Those are the few pros and a long list of cons. Oh my god. So my cons, slow pacing, man. There's a long time in this movie where people are just standing around not doing anything, and it's like you're going long periods of time without seeing Chauncey, like, and I don't understand why. We're gonna focus on getting out of the hood and talking about getting out of the hood and nothing, like just continuing streams of that, and like little social drama amongst this large cast. Like that was another issue. The cast was too large. It's trying to keep track of like a Game of Thrones size cast. I've never these kids had more friends than I do in my real life, so I didn't understand why there were so many characters, and a large portion of them didn't even have backstories. There were multiple members of the main cast who only had first names, and that was it. The soundtrack is terrible. The soundtrack is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I don't know who decided that this soundtrack needed to make it to film, but Jesus, there are several plot lines that fall completely flat. They're either not fully explored, or they're introduced and immediately forgotten about. I don't like, and there were a couple that I actually thought were interesting that just get left exactly where they are introduced, and I didn't understand. This film tries to tackle so many things at once. There's Chauncey, there's trying to get out of the hood, there's trying to win homecoming king and queen, there's trying to get a football scholarship, there's trying to make good grades, there's trying to get the girl, there's trying to not lose the girl. It's a lot going on, and too many different people trying to do too many different things and not doing one thing well. It makes the movie so much longer than it actually needs to be. So for a long time, there's nothing going on, but it's a whole lot going on and nothing going on all at the same time. Really bad special effects. Like I said, this isn't a very gory movie. There are a few instances where blood is being displayed, and there are some good instances, but there are more bad instances. And when it's bad, it's really bad. Like in the trailer where he's like gutting the guy from one section to the other, it's like not enough blood. If you're gonna stab someone in the stomach, you should make a huge mess, but it wasn't very effective, and the way that we get to that point is a bit ridiculous in and of itself. So all of that for nothing, really. There are teachers in this movie. I don't know why. I mean, I understand they're students, but there are literally 2 teachers in Compton High School. Compton High School. I wish I had looked it up before this, but I gotta say, Compton High School has to have like 2,000 to 5,000 students in this class, and there are only 2 teachers. There are 8 cast members, but there are only 2 teachers, and one of them is the RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan, which I wasn't expecting, and he's just his talents are completely wasted in this movie. I don't understand why. I'm pretty sure he was doing this role as a favor to help a friend out, but Jesus, there was nothing for him to do. You would think that somebody as tall as the RZA would be helpful when there's a killer on the loose, especially if that killer is a high school senior, but nope. So take that for what you will. You know, with the cast being so big, you would think one of these characters would be intelligent. No. Every single one of them does something stupid. Like, as soon as their life is in danger, they do something stupid to make things worse. None of them help each other. They actually hurt each other in order to help themselves. Not some of the time it's actually on purpose. Some of the times it isn't, just because of the decision that they made. And not one time did I see someone do something smart to help themselves survive, and it's infuriating. It's not normal for people to be this dumb. It's like they know they're in a movie and they know that they have like a 2-hour runtime, so we got to make this a little bit longer. We got to drag this out a little bit more, or I'm not gonna get my bonus of some kind. It was inept at its highest fashion. It was annoying. It made this movie. There are 3 different times I wanted to turn this movie off, and watching people try not to die was one of those times. It's just, wow. That I've seen people make decisions that made me just go, wow. They just suspended all of my disbelief. It's just, wow. Okay. Hoochie Love. There's a character in the movie called Unique. A man. A man named Unique, an R&B singer, who has this song that's supposed to be popular, called Hoochie Love. And never have I ever wanted to stop hearing ever. Like, Hoochie Love is going to haunt me for the rest of my life, and there's nothing I can do about it, and I hope you feel the same way, because I saw it, so now you have to. And there's a twist ending that I'm definitely not going to tell you about, because no. And I saw it coming 20 minutes before the movie ended. It's just plain as day, the twist. And I was mad that I was right. And for me to be right after sitting through 2 hours, what felt like 3 hours of a movie, to be right about the twist ending is maddening. It's the cruelest joke you can play on somebody like me, who tries their best to think ahead. I shouldn't be able to figure this out, but I did, and that was just one of those things that you just don't want to be right about. This movie comes up short in several fashions: visually, tonally, emotionally. It's just not a good film. Bad writing, uneven pacing, and a terrible soundtrack make this a very difficult process to get through. And with the twist ending that tried to just like shock you, I don't feel like they were risky enough. There are multiple aspects of this movie where they could have taken like mini twists. Like, if you're gonna do a low budget slasher film, go for broke. Like, swing for the fences. Just go crazy with it. Don't be generic or run of the mill. Like, be creative, for lack of a better term. Be creative. That is one thing that this movie lacks above all things: creativity. So I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5, because Chauncey was actually scary. Like, I'm an Uber driver, and I wouldn't let that dude in my car. This is Yours G, and that's my review of the 2019 film Thriller.